Three Holes, a small Fenland community in the parish of Upwell, is getting ready for a double celebration. The village hall, decked out in red, white and blue, is set to join in the weekend of nationwide festivities marking the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. But for Three Holes, it's a special occasion with a particular significance, as it's also the Diamond Jubilee of the village hall, and committee members are staging a 50s day in honour of both events. There's been a huge interest across the country in the weeks coming up to the Jubilee, and it certainly looks like people from the community here are also just as enthusiastic to be involved in local celebrations. One of the committee members, Chairman Sulo, took on the role of reporter for the day and wanted to know how locals found out about the festivities at the hall in the first place.
We saw it advertised in the Well in Touch and we were very interested in the memorabilia. We didn't actually realise so much was going on, but it's just fascinating to see all the pictures of the past, because I was there for the coronation. I remember it, and I mean, many years ago I was not a great fan of the royal family, to be honest, but I'm just overwhelmed with it all. And I think, you know, from young people to the very elderly, to see them, some of them recreating the past with their parties, and some of the young people finding new memories that they will remember, because I do from my childhood. So I've been overwhelmed with it, and I think most people have actually.
More people are starting to make their way in now to look around the fantastic array of photos, artefacts and other memorabilia that make up the exhibits. Princess Elizabeth's coronation was just what Britain needed to help forget wars and start getting on with everyday life once again. 1952 was the beginning of the end for the wartime utility style of home furnishings, but most homes of the day continued to be a mix of pre-war and wartime furniture, with new must-haves like the ironing board and easy-clean Formica top tables starting to appear. One great British tradition continued: afternoon tea, with a chance to read up on the latest coronation gossip.
Well, I'm Prue Lester, I'm Chairman of Upwell Parish Council, and I'm obviously here to look around your fascinating exhibition of memorabilia, and I'm looking forward to the films as well. Obviously, the Three Holes Village Hall Committee have gone to a huge amount of trouble to find so many fascinating souvenirs and memorabilia that relate back to the coronation in the 1950s, and we all have a very interesting afternoon looking at them, and some of us trying to remember that far back.
The displays are certainly proving a major draw, and a source of great amusement too, as people spot themselves and their friends and family in photographs taken in the area at the time. Of course, the 50s saw the growth in ownership of labour-saving devices, such as the refrigerator, the washing machine, and our love affair with the car and the cinema really began to take hold. Movie stars like Doris Day, Gary Cooper and Bing Crosby were certainly the pop icons that dominated the era. It's good to see the committee have remembered that whatever the decade, people enjoy a chance to catch up over a brew and a chat. Some home-baked cakes are bound to put them in the right mood, maybe to buy a raffle ticket or two. As well as serving as a great opportunity to raise some much-needed funds for the upkeep of the hall, just why did the committee decide to stage this event? Let's ask two of the members, Treasurer Sally Elmer and Secretary Rita Cuss.
We chose to do a memorabilia event because there have been lots of other things going on in local villages, and this was something different, something that we could look back on and say we were there.
And why do you think it's important?
I think it's very important to try and get a sense of community around. Unfortunately, people got cars nowadays, and a lot of them weren't born here as it used to be in the olden times, and we don't seem to get the village spirit that we used to have. So we all keep trying to get this together again. Perhaps if the petrol keeps going up, they might start staying in the village a bit more.
And how do you think it's worked?
It's very important to keep all the things in history on film, screen, whatever, and obviously because we've been so busy here over the weekend, then it's nice that those events are there to look at later when we want to.
Thank you.
The clothes of the 50s were much less austere than during and just after the war. Mind you, some items worn by ladies of fashion in the 50s would also certainly now fall into the category of definitely what not to wear. For most households, the television was still an aspiration, and the radio was still the friend in the corner and the mainstay of home entertainment. More and more electrical labour-saving devices and gadgets were being introduced, and former favourites like the wind-up gramophone were fast being replaced by the electric record player. Fortunately, both technologies could play the new music craze sweeping in from the States. It was called rock and roll.
My name is Frank Hum. I'm a committee member of the Village Hall and an ex-rock and roller.
My name's Liz Johnson. I come from Outwell, and I think the hard work that's gone in for this weekend, whether it be national or local, has been absolutely fantastic.
What have you seen and what have you enjoyed most?
I like the spectacle of the pageant, all the boats on the water.
The thousands that were there and enjoyed themselves. And I think this is mainly what the Jubilee's been about, everybody enjoying themselves. And I think it's about time she got the recognition that she's got this time.
Yeah, 1.25 million of people by the riverside. That's a lot of people.
Why do you think it's important that we do these kind of things, celebrations, locally?
Everything comes down to a local thing anyway. I mean, it's local in London, isn't it? But it's a big central point. But here, we're making our own history. We're doing it here.
And
we're
I
making
think it
history.
brings everybody together. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if you saw the crowds that saw the raft race on Saturday, if you saw the wonderful tea that was given to the elderly people in Outwell, and then the crowds yesterday, it just brings everybody out and everybody enjoys themselves, which is what the main point is really.
Whether you're old enough to have been a teddy boy or young enough to equate apples with iPhones rather than fruit, today's event certainly has something for everyone. Young Harry here is very happy playing with a 50s train set and demonstrating this Hornby replica of the Royal Train Queen Elizabeth. As for the original loco on which this model is based, it made a memorable and fitting appearance over this weekend at the Diamond Jubilee River Pageant. From its location on Battersea Rail Bridge, it sounded its whistle to mark the setting off of the Queen's Flotilla. Vessels, large and small, sailed along the Thames in a carefully choreographed procession that formed the centrepiece of the Coronation Jubilee weekend that was being watched by millions of TV viewers throughout the Commonwealth and other far-flung places too. Although some who were keen to enjoy the celebrations were much closer to home.
Now, you're a newcomer to the Three Holes Village Hall. Would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself? Because I don't think you've got a local accent.
That's right. I'm originally from the States, Kentucky, but I've lived in England for about 37 years. And I came out today to help Bill show a 16mm film, original film, Pathé film from 1952, Queen's Coronation.
As a non-Brit, what do you think about the whole idea of Queens and Jubilees?
I think it's great. It's something I'm into as well now.
And I think I'm safe in saying that everyone here shares Don's sentiments, because they're all sitting comfortably and waiting for well-known local historian Bill Smith to introduce what for most was the main attraction of the day.
The plan is to show you the royal wedding, and then we will go on to show the coronation as it was shown by Patty Lewes in 53.
From the solemnity of the Abbey, the great pageant moves towards Buckingham Palace as the newlyweds enter the famed glass coach. This is a sight for which Londoners slept in the streets to see their future queen and her husband. And as they proceed with a captain's guard through throngs estimated at 2 million, the drabness of life is forgotten. Everything is rationed but cheers, and the crowd really goes wild. But the whole world joins Britain in wishing two young people long life, prosperity, and happiness as they embark on their new life.
So it certainly does appear that, just like the rest of Britain and many other parts of the globe, here in Three Holes, people regard Queen Elizabeth II with goodwill and admiration. And they're very happy to come out and support a local community event in celebration of Her Majesty's and this Fenland Village Hall's Diamond Jubilee celebration.